Yo, what up, fellas? We ain't have a fifth quarter yet, since we started, and we already in week 4. So I said, let me get a fifth quarter on here and go through the standards and go back to week 1 up to where we at now to see what transpired in the league. First up in the AFC North, we have the Ravens at 4-0, the newly coached Bengals at 3-1, Steelers at 2-2. And the Browns are 1-2. So right now, this whole division is is close. But in a couple of more weeks, we're gonna see who fades, who stays with the race, and we'll see. We're here to see what's going on. In AFC South, you got the Texans at 2-2, Titans, Colts 1-2 apiece, Jags 0-3. AFC East, you got the Dolphins at 3-1, Jets 2-2, Pats 1-2, Bills 1-2. Bills not off to the best of starts, coming off the AFC chip last season that they attended. I don't know, them losing that AFC championship game might have set them back or what, but but it's early. Listen, 1-2 is nothing. You look up, teams be 1-2, then they'll be 5-2. So it's still early. This whole division is close. The lead in this division got one loss. Everybody else only have two. In the AFC West, you got the Raiders at 3-0. You got the Broncos at 3-1. The newly acquired Broncos, Chiefs and Chargers, both with 3 losses. The Chargers have yet to get a loss, which is pretty shocking to me because whenever I speak about Big Game James, I always put some respect on his name. But 0-3 start is not what you want in this AFC West. In the NFC North, you got the NFC champs, the Bears, at 2-1. Lions 2-2. They were 2-0. They dropped 2-0. They dropped two in a row. So now they're at 500. Green Bay lost their last game, so they're 2-2, and the Vikings are 0-3. NFC South, you got the Bucks undefeated. Falcons 2-2. Everybody else don't have a win. In the NFC East, you got the Cowboys and the Eagles, only 2 teams undefeated in this division. Cowboys off to a great start. They missed the playoffs last year, so he's looking for some get back. I feel like he's in the same position this season that Buffalo was in last season. The season before last, Buffalo missed the playoffs, and Buffalo went on a tear last season, made it all the way to the AFC chip. I feel like Dallas is on that same type of tear. He missed the playoffs last year, and here he is at 4-0 right now. Still a lot of games left to be played. You don't need to celebrate, but if you can't get off to a better start than what they are right now. And the Giants are 2-2. They're at 500. They lost their last game, so that put them to 500. Then you got the Commanders, who won their last game. That gave them their first win of the year. In the NFC West, you got the Seahawks at 2-1. Cardinals and Niners both 2-2. The Rams 1-3. I wouldn't think the Rams would be in last in this division. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. The Rams made the playoffs last year. It looked like they turned the corner, but this is not the start that you want. Again, a lot of football left to be played, but one, you're in a division with the Seahawks, who've just been running away with this division year after year, and two, anytime that you're in last in any division that you're in, that's not where you want to be. And I know the Rams, which is Dre, he takes more pride in that, to being last in the division. So Rams gonna have to turn things around. That's the divisions right now, the way the race is looking. We're gonna go back to week 1 and find out how we got to where we got to. Up in week 1, we had Dallas and Saints. Saints almost gave the Cowboys their first loss of the season. Came up just a little bit short. Saints almost pulled out an upset in week 1, but they didn't get it done. Cowboys went on to win this one. Giants blew out the Vikings. Broncos Had a tough battle with the Titans, but he held on. Broncos looking good right now, just taking over this Bronco team. Um, Browns beat the Pats 45-42. Um, Browns, good early win for them. I root for teams like the Browns because no matter what I talk about as far as the horrible trades with certain teams, that don't mean that I don't root for them. You know what I mean? Y'all always know what's that P word with me? Parity. I always root for parity. So I root for guys that miss playoffs more times than they make it. So this is a good early win for the Browns early in the season. Then you had the Dolphins. They blew the Bengals out. I guess the Bengals came into this game not really, grasping, what he got over there with this team. But from looking at the standings, he haven't lost since this game. But maybe this game was was a chin check in the early part of the season. Ravens blew out the Bills 52-27. If I'd have predicted this game, I might have took Baltimore, but no matter what, I'd have had this be closer than what it was. But Buffalo didn't stand a chance in this one. Uh, Steelers and Jets. Steelers beat the Jets 42-35. Jets put up a close one, almost pulled it out on the road, came up just a little short. Eagles and Texans, man, oh man, oh man. This is a game right here. If anybody saw this game, um, man, we got played, laid, and slayed in this one. I don't know, man. I mean, look, when it's crazy how, I done played this Eagles team twice, and both times I played them, they blocked. The first time I played them, they blocked my field goal before the half, right before the half, picked it up and ran for a touchdown. Then this season we play him, they blocked my extra point to go ahead and take the lead late in the game. I mean, I'm not saying that, he knows something that I don't know, but it's sure, you know what I mean, seemed to look, it can't look that way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, you just happen to pull a block out at key moments both times. But not only that, not only did he block my extra point, it was to take the lead, right? And then we tied up. We tied up. He comes down, try to kick a field goal, a little bit of time left. I block his kick. He picks up his kicker picks up the ball, outrunning everybody on my team, pretty much all the way down to like the 5 yard line. Crazy scenario. I never seen anything like it, to be honest. Of course it would happen to me, but I'm proud of my guys though. Despite that, I feel like we got hold big time. We was down by 3 scores in this one, and we fought all of that. I think that's what I was more uh upset about more than anything is that you fight so hard to get back in the game. If we gonna lose, then we just gonna lose. But for the way it happened, that's a tough one to swallow, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But it was a great game, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it happened like that, but that's just the way it went down, man. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, Eagles got the win in this one by 3. Niners put up 60 points on the Rams. Now I'm gonna tell you, I just looked at the Rams record and when I did the standards, and I seen that the Rams is 1-3. This could have a big reason as to why. You know, you always hear me say sometimes you can beat a certain team and that'll carry on to 3, 4 more wins. And then sometimes you can lose to certain teams and that'll carry on to 3 or 4 losses. This is a game the Rams got no business losing, but I only say that because this is not even the threat in the division, right? This is not the team that's been dominating the division. You still got to play Seattle twice. So when you lose to these teams that you feel like you shouldn't be losing to. That one loss really feels like 2 losses. This was a big loss in week 1 for the Rams, and this could be a big reason why they're in the position that they're in at the moment. Bears beat the Commanders 42-20. I thought the Commanders would come out and have a better start than what they did, but they came out flat, and it looks that way by the score. Bucks blew out the Chargers 41-22. Bucks is off to a great start in this one. Chargers have yet to get a win. And this was how his week one started off. Then you had the Raiders blew out the Chiefs 84-7. Um, I don't know. I mean, look, I understand that the Raiders is back-to-back champs and all of those things. But I always say, going back to last season, is that when you're in a division with somebody, you get a chance to play them twice a year. So you got to figure, you know, everybody else, well, not every, yeah, everybody else outside that division has played teams like the Raiders less than what the Chiefs have. And I say that to say, I'm not saying because you play certain guys so much that you should be winning, but scores like this should not be happening. You have to be getting accustomed to what people like to do and what they don't like to do. Just because you play them so much, that's an ugly loss for the Chiefs. Falcons and Panthers. Falcons won this one 48-43. I don't know what's going on with my boy Carolina Blue Mo neither. He's been struggling over there in Carolina. The Panthers is another one of them teams that when I speak about them, I speak about them in high regards. But Panthers just can't seem to get something situated over there. So that's how week one started off. Um, Then in week two, you had the Pats upset the Dolphins 56-53. This is the type of one that you want if you're the Pats, especially because you're in that division. But you know, I've been always talking about the Pats for the first couple of years, but the Pats haven't turned that corner yet. So I mean, look, this could be the biggest moment of them for the season. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I can't keep bigging up the Pats and then he's letting me down. This is a good win right here, but he got to put some more work in, you know, to back up what I was saying about him. But this is a good win against a division opponent. But you know, if you get a nice win like this, but if you turn around and lose your next 3 or 4 games, this win means absolutely nothing. Then you had the Packers and Bears. Packers took out the Bears 27-21. This was a big win for the Packers in this one at home. They got a place to play the Bears one more time before the season is out. Then you had the Lions against the Vikings. Lions won this one 70-48. Vikings, another one of them teams that y'all know that I say I root for. I wait for him to string together a big win or a couple of big wins, but hasn't happened yet. But he scores, but he just can't stop a nosebleed right now. Rams had a shootout with the Falcons 69-65. And this right now is the only win of the season for the Rams. But they went on the road and won this one in the shootout. Titans beat the Colts 49-42. Uh, this this one this one was pretty close by looking at the score, but the Titans end up holding on to this one. They win by 7 at home. They play one more time before the season is over. Jets beat the Buffalo. This is a good win for the Jets. They took out the Bills at home. And again, Buffalo's not off to the best of starts after coming off a great season last year. Could it be that they're not over last season? Who knows? But there's just not the starts that I'm sure they expected coming out of this one. If you the Jets, they're off to a pretty good start themselves. Bengals and Browns. Bengals won this one 45-17. Browns, he won a good week one matchup, but by the score of this, he didn't put up a chance in a week two matchup. Cowboys blew out the Commanders 38-10. Don't know what's going on with the Commanders. Every year they make moves and stuff over there, but it's just not seeming to be paying off. They went against their division opponent, and this score just doesn't look good, especially because I seen the Commanders play the Cowboys close in a few battles, but not this time. But again, Cowboys look like right now they're still undefeated. They got a chip on their shoulder dating back from last season, from them missing the postseason. Then you had Seahawks and Panthers. Seahawks won this one 63-31. Again, I expect more out of Carolina Blue Mo, but he just haven't had them Panthers doing anything at all so far throughout this first couple of seasons that we've had. And Seahawks, uh, doing what they normally do this time of the year. Raiders and Chargers. Raiders blew out the Chargers in this one. I guess the Raiders had a point to make with the Chargers because these two been going back and forth. They normally split. They normally split their matchups during the regular season. But Raiders, even though the Raiders blew them out the first matchup, I expect a better matchup in week two, even though it's going to be in Las Vegas. But I think the Chargers will play a better game second time around. Then you have Broncos and Chiefs. Broncos won this one 56-39. Again, Broncos off to a great start. They got a new regime going on over there. So they're off to a pretty good start. Cardinals and Niners. Cardinals won this one 40-32. Again, honestly, I think Cardinals and 49ers is off to a pretty good start. They only have 2 losses. So that's where you want to be, right? If you want to go to, if you want to get off to a great start, that's the pretty much start that you want to be at. If you can't be over 500, you want to be at least at 500. Um, Ravens and Steelers. Ravens won this one 50-42 over the Steelers. Ravens won the first matchup in Baltimore. Um, First of two battles. Eagles took out the Giants 41-39. Giants almost pulled out and a nice win against his division rival, but he could not get it done. He lost by 2. Tough pill to swallow. But the good news is he gets to see the Eagles again in New York next time around. Then you have Bucks blew out the Saints 55-28. Bucks again, one of the undefeated teams. Over in week 3, you had Titans and Bears. Bears took out the Titans 59-42. Good bounce back win from the Bears from losing last week. They put up practically 60 points this week and got the win. Then you had Bengals and Patriots. Again, this is what I mean about the Patriots. They got a good win against the Dolphins. I mean, all right, cool. No need to have a parade. Not saying that he did, but as good as the win that was, you follow that up with a very, very disappointing loss. Not what you want to do when you pretty much haven't had the success that you've been expecting. This is a ugly loss. This is a loss that you might need to have an early team meeting. You might need to have an early team meeting this part of the season because to lose like this after having a big win, that doesn't iron out too well. Commanders blew out the Cardinals 70-40. Commanders got their first win of the season with this one. Scored 70 points. It just went all wrong for Cardinals this game. But the flip side is the Cardinals put up 40 points themselves, but defense didn't show up at all. Looked like the only thing that showed up for the Cardinals was the offense. Niners and Saints. Niners won this one 49-28. Again, Niners is off to a solid start. Bucks, Panthers. Bucks got the win. Eagles blew out the Lions 77-42. Again, Detroit, they started out 2-0. This was the first loss of the season for them. They gave up pretty much 80 points. It's not what you want to do if you're this Lions team. Packers blew out the Vikings 66-20. Again, Vikings haven't been able to pull off that win just yet still. Raiders blew out the Broncos 59-22. I would say this is a statement win for the Raiders, right? The champs, the back-to-back champs, win against newly acquired Denver Broncos team who's off to a good start themselves. But the Raiders punched them in the mouth just to let the Broncos. But the Raiders punched the Broncos in the mouth in round 1 just to let them know what where he got to be the back-to-back champ. So Broncos going to have some stuff to clean up the second time around. Cowboys beat the Colts 50-30. Again, Cowboys undefeated, got a chip on their shoulder, not holding nothing back. They look like they're on an early mission so far in the early part of the season. Ravens beat the Chargers 35-28. Ravens are also undefeated. They haven't lost the game yet. And Chargers haven't won the game yet, although this is a game that they almost pulled out. But when you're trying to get a win, almost doesn't count. Seahawks and Jets. Seahawks just totally demolished the Jets in this one, 52-3. Even though the Jets are off to a pretty good start, a loss like this can set you back. It can shake your psyche. Don't know what happened in this one. To only score 3 points is a big letdown. If I'm the Jets after an offensive performance like this, I'm definitely having a one-on-one meeting with the offensive coordinator in this one. Rams and Bills. 117-24. It's not too often you see 100 points, right? Not saying that you won't or haven't, but it's not too often. But it's really not often that you see 117 points. Um, I don't know what happened in this one. I mean, obviously the Rams just gave up, right? That's clear cut. But even when you give up, you can't give up to where it looked like you just put the controller down. I mean, to give up 117 points, it looked like you no longer was even on the game. It looked like you just put the controller down and the Bills literally just did whatever he wanted to do until the clock said zero. Um, History, it might be. I mean, I can't think of. I've seen 100 points a few times, but for some reason, 117 kind of feels like that's like a record right there. He said he didn't give up. He's being himself. I mean, yeah. When you say that, I know what you mean. Dre just going to just keep passing and passing and passing. But I mean, but man, even if he just kept passing the ball, what was he doing? He was just passing with his eyes closed. Because I mean, like, to give up 117 points. I mean, like, everything has to go wrong. You got to remember, we're only playing 6 minute quarters. It's not like we playing 12 minute quarters. Like, you know, yeah, I've seen low 100s too. 117, yeah, I don't know. That's different. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, look, I've totally forgot that this happened. But just when I was going through the divisions for the standings and I seen the Rams was 1-3, and I seen how they lost to the 49ers to kick the season off, I said that you can lose games, and sometimes certain games you lose can lead to 3 and 4 losses. But man, I didn't know it would lead to losses like this. It's not looking good right now for the Rams, in my opinion, to give up this many points. Um, but man, I mean, like, I'm just trying to think what could have went wrong. Like, everything. Like, it's almost like every time you said hike, you either fumbled or you just threw a pick every time you touched the ball. I mean, you feel like it's not enough time to score 117 points, but I don't know. That's just bugged out right there. I expect more from Dre. I'm not gonna hold you. You know what I mean? I expect more from the Rams than that. Giants beat the Falcons 52-35. Look, man, the thing about it is that, the Giants is guys, right? Just because guys don't win the bowl, you know, and stuff like that, that don't mean that they're not good. I mean, the Giants is good. Like, you better start, you know what I mean? And I'm saying that to the Falcons because I know the Falcons, he always in the chat beating on his chest, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, dog, like, you gotta be on point for these type of games, man. Giants ain't nothing ain't no slack by any mean, you know. Um, but good win for the Giants though. Definitely good win for the Giants. The Giants got to get these wins because he got to stay in that race with the Eagles and Cowboys. Steelers and Texans. This one, we ended up coming back to make it close, and then he scored late in the end. But this one, man, look, one thing about me, yeah, nah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. One thing about me is that I look at, when I play, I can't talk about other people's games, but I'm pretty sure other people do it too. But when you look at this game right here, this score, unless you watched it, you wouldn't know that, yo, we missed about three open touchdowns. I don't know what happened with CJ Stroud that game. It's almost like it's almost like CJ Stroud that just played in the playoffs in the real season. For some reason, it carried over to my last game. I promise you, I overthrew three open touchdowns and we fumbled in the red zone. So and when I say wide open, I'm talking about if he put it in the receiver's hands, it's touchdowns. He overthrew like three times, three touchdowns, and that's the difference in the game. When you kicking field goals, you know what I'm saying, and you're not getting no points out of it, or you're fumbling in the red zone, that was the difference in the game. You know, this is a game I felt like we definitely should have won, but when overthrowing stuff happened, frustration kicked in, and defense just didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was, downhill from there. But I pay attention to stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you miss touchdowns and you mess around, lose by two scores, and you miss two wide open touchdowns, that's the difference in the game. You know, Chiefs and Jags. Chiefs got the force in this one. Week 4, right? This the week we in. Yeah, we in week 4. Week 4, we got the Bills and Browns. Look, the Browns got an early week 1 win. I don't think they won since. This would be a good time for them to pull something out, but I don't know. The Bills just put up 117 points. So right now, I kind of feel like the Bills is probably coming to this game to feel like, can he beat his own record? You know, so if you're the Browns, number one, you playing to win. But if they start getting out of control, you got to make sure that, you just ain't just out there giving up 200 points, But I'm taking the Bills in this one if they play. I'm gonna take Bills 55, 28. Ravens completed the sweep against the Steelers in this one. They just played within like 2 weeks apart. They played week 2 and they played week 4. Ravens swept the Steelers. That's bad news for the Steelers because now that the Ravens have the tiebreaker over him, he's going to have to make sure he does not fall behind in this race. But good win for the Ravens. Bucks took out the Niners 53-35. Again, Bucks is 4-0 after this win. And I think the 49ers dropped to 2-2 after this loss. Texans and Lions. Texans won this one 41-17. We showed up this game. I mean, all of a sudden, C.J. Stroud knew how to not overthrow anybody, you know what I mean? And for that, the defense definitely showed out. We didn't let Corliss get that run game going. He definitely tried to cheese us with Gibbs. But once we slowed that down, it was a rough ride for the Lions. But it's a good win for the Texans. Bengals and Saints. Bengals won this one 35-14. Bengals, listen, they got punched in the mouth in week 1 by the Dolphins. They haven't lost since. Listen, sometimes a loss can wake you up, and again, that loss against the Dolphins could have definitely put the Bengals on the track that they needed to be on. They won this one. They won 3 in a row. Jags and Bears, we're just going to go ahead and set that for the Bears now. Cowboys dominated the Giants in this one, 24-3. This is a great win for the Cowboys. And like I said, I think right now the Cowboys, like I said, they're on my list like Buffalo was last year. Buffalo missed the playoffs the season before last. He definitely turned up last year, made it all the way to the AFC chip. The Cowboys missed the playoffs last year. He's off to a great start this year. And if I'm the Cowboys, if I know Josh like I think I know Josh, I'm pretty sure, forget the win. Yeah, he's glad he won, but he's looking at that 3 points he gave up. And that has to feel amazing to give up 3 points because, Josh is always talking about, his defense. So for him to give up 3 points against a solid Giants team, that's impressive right there for the Cowboys. That's just to let you know the Cowboys right now is off to a great, great start. This win right here put them at 4-0. Right now, they are in first in that division because the Eagles have to play their matchup this week. But big early win for the division rival against the Cowboys against the Giants. Then you had Broncos blew out the Chiefs 46-25. Broncos bounced back from an ugly loss last week over the Chiefs. Commanders and Panthers, Carolina Blue Mo. Again, don't know what's going on with Carolina Blue Mo, but he ain't looking like himself. The Commanders, listen, the Commanders, they gotta be a team that's not worried about what they got on paper. It ain't about who you got on paper, the roster. It's what happens when you get on the field. Because I remember the Commanders was excited about the moves that they made, and that's cool to be excited. But if them moves ain't paying off, then man, forget them moves. Commanders gonna have to lock in. I don't know. I expected more from really throughout these first couple of seasons. I don't know. I think the Commanders might have made the playoffs once so far. Not sure, but I mean, for all the moves that he's made, I expect more from them. Um, Even though he only got one win right now, it's still early in the season. But against a team like the Panthers, who, in my opinion, is not playing with no confidence, you got to win this game. You got to win this game because oh, he didn't make it at all. See, so this is what I'm saying. You against the Panthers team, who I think haven't made the playoffs at all, who I always say Carolina. I gave him the nickname Carolina Blue Mo because Panthers, he stepped up big, like last Madden he was on a tear, but it's not paying off this time around. And if you're the Commanders, you have to win this game, knowing that you still got to play the Cowboys again, you got to play the Eagles twice, and you still got to play the Giants twice. These are the type of games you cannot afford to lose. This is a must win, in my opinion. You're not going to hear me say this too much, but because the Cowboys and Eagles are both with zero losses, and the Giants sitting at 2-2, the Commanders are 1-2. You cannot afford to be 1-3 in this division. This is a win that the Commanders must win. They're on the road, but they gotta pull this out. They gotta pull this out. Believe me, 2-2 looks a whole lot better than 1-3. And I'm actually going to go with the Commanders to pull this out just because I feel like the Panthers are not playing with no confidence at all right now. I'm going to take the Commanders to win this one. I'm going to say 31-24. Pats and Seahawks, this game is underway. Listen, again, the Patriots got the early week 2 win against the Dolphins. Whoop-de-doo. I don't think they won the game since. They might have. I don't know. But still in all, you can't get so excited about that. That's just one game. You got a lot of more games to play. And I was just about to take the Seahawks because I was just saying the Patriots haven't been doing anything since they got that win. And then sure enough, they just posted the score 77-30. Um, I don't know, man. Patriots is one of them teams, like I say, it's a head scratcher, right? Because when you play the Patriots, you see that he's better than what his records turned out to be. When you play him, he knows how to play. You know what I'm saying? Like the Patriots is not nobody who, there's no shade to the Vikings, but the Patriots is not the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? Like when you play against the Patriots, you realize like, yo, all right, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to put this boy out of his misery. But the Patriots just have not been stringing those seasons together. He'll win one, he'll lose four in a row, he'll win two, he'll lose three in a row. You understand? That's not what you want to do and want to be when you're trying to make the playoffs. Yeah, I know you. Well, I didn't know you came back to win. I know you won in week one. But man, like I don't know, man. Patriots. I forgot who I just said this about, but I think Patriots another one of them teams that gotta have a only players meeting because something gotta change over there in that locker room. And you gotta remember you're in a tough division. You got the Dolphins over there who had one loss the whole last season. You got the Bills who made it to the AFC chip last season, and then you got the Jets on any given week. You can find yourself in a dogfight with them. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, the Jets is 2-2 right now. So if you the Pats, man, you got to turn things around. You might have to go out there and make a trade. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just saying, I always y'all know, I always talk about the Patriots. I've always been bigging up the Patriots, but I've been bigging up the Patriots way more than what the Patriots seem like they've been digging and believing in themselves. But and they just lost this one 77-30. I don't know. Patriots going to have a meeting. It's week 4. They might have to do something to shake up the roster, to be honest with you. Change is going to have to come from somewhere. Coach, something. Jets blew out the Cardinals 52-28. Good win for the Jets. Cardinals off to a solid start, but losses like this can set you back. But good win for the Jets. Dolphins and the Rams. Dolphins won this one 68-52. I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, the Dolphins only have one loss, and that came to the Patriots. Outside of that, they're looking like they're putting up a ton of points. They gave up a lot of points in this one, but they pretty much scored 70. And the Rams, this is after a Rams team that just gave up 117 points to give up 68 points, right? 68 points is still a lot of points to give up, but when you just gave up over 100 points, it's 68 looks great, right? Yeah, that's the bad part though, because you can't expect to win a lot of games when you're giving up 70 points. Don't know what's going on with the Rams with the defense, but this been the Rams though so far these early seasons. But this is what I'll be saying about certain guys is that you can't trade certain players. If I was the Rams, and y'all heard me say this before, I would have never gave up. What's the pass rusher name? Verse. Y'all know I'm talking about the young bull over there on the Rams team. If I'm the Rams, I'm no way I'm giving him up. I'm building around him. He one of the best pass rushers in the game. So oh yeah, Verse. That's his name, Verse. Yeah, I mean, look, when you talk about struggling on defense, but then you gave up your best defensive player. I mean, I guess I could say what you kind of expect, but listen, it's still early. The Rams can turn it around. I mean, look, he made the playoffs last year, so it's not like he can't turn things around, but he gonna have to figure something out quickly. I mean, because he in a division with the Seahawks, who've just been running away with this division by second half of the season, this division been having a bow on it. So when you're in a division like that with somebody and it's like you automatically playing for the wild card, man, you're gonna have to string some wins together fast. You can't go to week 6 and look up and you 1-5 because you pretty much could just sign off after that. Like season might be over. But good win for the Dolphins, man. I mean, look, they did what they needed to do. They put up enough points, and that's what they've been doing week to week, scoring a lot of points. And that's not something else that they did this time around. Chargers and Titans, this one have not been played yet. Listen, Chargers, big game James. I'm disappointed in them too. He's 0-3, and y'all know I put respect on his name, but look, man, there's a lot of guys in the league that know how to play, and you got to come with your A game more times than you don't. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you could come in and you can try new plays or, do different things that, what I mean? I get it. But for the most part, week to week, you got to come with it. And the Chargers, he's 0-3 and he's in a bad spot because not only is the Raiders undefeated, the champs, but then you got the Broncos over there. They only have one loss. So the Chargers, in my opinion, cannot start off 0-4, especially when you got a new Bengals user to where's that right now he's looking like even if he don't win the division, he's getting a wild card spot. So that means a wild card spot is gone that normally would be available because last year's Bengals team, they wasn't in the mix at all. So things is getting tight now. You're going to have to lock up what you're going to have to lock up. It's safe to just get the division. And if you can't get the division, you got to snatch up many wins as you can and fast. This is a big win. I mean, a big win. This is a big game for Chargers and Titans because the Titans lose. He drops to um what 4 losses on the season. So no, 2 losses on the season. No, three. He'll drop to 3 on the season. But we'll see. Chargers, they start off 0-4. That's pretty much dangerous territory for them. But I'm actually going to take the Chargers to get their first win of the season in this one. And I'm gonna take the Chargers. I'm gonna say 38, 32. Falcons and Panthers. Wow. Um, Falcons dominated in this one. The fact that they only gave up 10 points is what I'm looking at. I mean, if you would have told me the Falcons beat the Packers out and they said the Falcons scored 42 points, I'd have said, all right, score was probably 42-39, 42-40, but 42 to 10? Wow. Don't know what happened in this one in Green Bay, but it looked like everything that could go wrong absolutely went wrong. But hey, if you the Falcons, all you gotta do is stack up your wins on to the next week. And that's what they did. Um, Good win for the Falcons. Raiders and Colts in this one, champs, undefeated going into Indy. Indy got a chance to give the Raiders their first win of the season. Um, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how this one shake out. I'm gonna take the champs in this one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 59, 59-27. Vikings and Eagles. Eagles already got his win set. So we're gonna go on to week 5, which is the week that we on tomorrow for the predictions now. Bills and Titans. Did Bills play already week 4? Oh, he played the Browns. All right, yeah. The Titans. For me personally, I think if the Titans beat the Chargers, I actually like the Titans in this game. But if he lose to the Chargers, I like the Bills. The fact that this game haven't been played yet, and I took the Chargers, I'm going to go ahead and take the Bills in this one. I'll take the Bills to win this one over the Titans. 42-31. Panthers and Browns. Look, would I like to see the Browns win this one? Of course. You know, again, I root for parity. Although Carolina Blue Mo right now, he hasn't been having no luck neither. So I don't know. If this was season 1, I'd have took the Panthers easily. But after seeing that the struggles that the Panthers been having, man, this ain't no easy one to pick anymore. You know what? I'm actually gonna go with the Browns because they're at home. Right now, I feel like the Browns is playing with more moxie than the Panthers, in my opinion. So I'm going with the Browns, man. Give me the Browns. I think it'll be close though. It'll be close, but I got the Browns pulling one out in the end. I'm gonna go Cleveland 33, Panthers 30. Niners and Dolphins. Niners going into Miami. Miami, listen, they've been scoring a ton of points. They're looking to score a ton of points again. If you the 49ers, you looking to pull off a mean upset in this one. You know, they're on the road. You know, listen, only one way to find out, right? Guess we'll see. But meantime, between time, I'm taking the Dolphins in this one. Give me the Dolphins over the Niners. I'm gonna say 57 to 30. 57-30, Miami. Pats and Rams. Again, this is one of them games that can be tricky, you know. Patriots just got blown out in this one. Rams just lost to the Dolphins. In my opinion, both teams in a must-win situation. To be honest with you, um, I think because the Rams gave up 100 points, he should have more of a chip on the shoulder in this one. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams over the Pats. 53-45. Vikings and Bears. I'm going with the Bears in this one. Even though I'm waiting for the Vikings to pull up their first user win. I'm going with the NFC champs in this one. I got the Bears over the Vikings, 49-29. Eagles and Steelers. This should be a good one right here. Philly going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh trying to give the Eagles the first loss of their season. Um, I think both teams are healthy for the most part, so both teams coming to this one fully strength. Um, I'm gonna go. Steelers just took a tough one on the chin to the Ravens. I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna go Pittsburgh in this one. I think Pittsburgh comes into this game with a little chip on their shoulder, mad that they got swept by the Ravens. This one is at Pittsburgh. If it was in Philly, I would go with Philly. But because it's in Pittsburgh, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh to pull this off, and give the Eagles the first loss of the season. I'm gonna go Steelers in this one, 47, Eagles 43. Commanders and Jaguars. Commanders again. Games like this must win, must pull this one out. Um, I'll take Commanders in this one over the Jags. I'll say Commanders. Uh, 43, Jags 31. Colts and Bengals. Um, Bengals on a 3-game win streak, home. Got Indy coming into town. I mean, look, if Indy can give the Raiders his first loss of the season, he comes to this game with a ton of confidence. You know, and honestly, if he upset the Raiders, I would take the Colts to win this game. But that game hasn't been played, so I got to go with what I have in front of me right now. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'll take Bengals over the Colts this week. 50 to 35. Broncos and Saints. Um, Broncos. Look, let's be honest. Broncos he got to stay in the race with the champs. So playing against a team like the Saints, you got to win these games. Saints, one of them teams that struggles with most. So if you the Broncos, you got to win this one. I'll pick the Broncos to win. I'll say Broncos, 47, Saints 28. Giants and Packers. Packers coming off a ugly, ugly loss. Giants coming off a ugly, ugly loss. Somebody got to bounce back and get a win this week, unless it's a tie. But ties don't happen often, so I'm just gonna gotta pick a winner in this one. I'm gonna take uh, I'm gonna take the Packers at home to have a much better performance this week than last week. Um, than they did against the Falcons. I'm gonna take the Packers over the Giants, but not convincingly though at all. I respect the Giants' handle, so I think this is gonna be a good one, regardless of who win this one. But I'm taking the Packers. I'll say um 38-34. Seahawks and Cardinals. I mean, look, Cardinals, 49ers, Rams, same go for them too. Y'all playing the Seahawks twice a year. Um, Even if you're not winning, the game should be closer than what it was in season one, right? Because you got it, you by now you have to have some type of feel of what he like to do. I mean, there's no way you should just keep getting blown out by you know, a ton of points every time y'all play. Like you got to be taking notes, mental notes at that. I don't mean notes, real notes with a pen and a pad, but mental notes, right? Because when I play somebody, I'm taking mental notes from one half to another. Forget a game, just one half. Second half, all right, cool. We got to make some adjustments that we was getting abused with in the first half. But to play a guy twice this year, you have to have some type of understanding of what he like to do. I don't know. I mean, I beg to differ. We'll see. He got the fair sim. All right. Well, let's see if that momentum from the fair sim can carry over this week. I'm taking the Seahawks though. I'll take Seahawks over the Cards. Uh, I'm gonna say 59. I'm gonna say 59-32. Prove me wrong, Cardinals. Prove me wrong. Chiefs and Falcons. Chiefs only got one win on the season. Uh, Falcons coming off a big win against the Packers. I think the Falcons coming to this game beating his chest, but He cannot afford to come into this game um reliving what happened against the Packers, because these are the type of games that you will lose when you just overlook your opponent because you just hyped off what you did week 4. That was week 4. The Falcons better come into this game uh try to take care of his business, because I'm telling you, if the Falcons lose this game, anybody that listens to me right now going to think about what I said. You got games that's called trap games, right? And trap game is basically someone that you know that you feel like, yo, we got this in the bag, but you overlook them or you don't take them serious and you mess around and you lose. So as great as the win that the Falcons just had over the Packers, you look and see he play the Chiefs, you feel like there's no way he shouldn't win this game. But listen, if he don't come in and do what he did against the Packers, he will find himself in a dogfight. But I got to go with the Falcons in this one just because he came off a great win. Defense played tremendous against the Packers. How can I not take the Falcons? I'm gonna take the Falcons this week, 44, 24. Bucks and Raiders. Listen, this is the game. This is the game of the week right here. This is the possible Super Bowl preview matchup. You got the two times back-to-back defending champ Raiders taking on the Bucks. Both teams are undefeated. The Raiders are at home. Um, this right here is a statement win for either team. If you the Bucks, you trying to send a message to the Raiders saying, if we see y'all in the bowl, we just made a statement right here with this game, let you know what y'all in for. And if you the Raiders, you send a statement to the Bucks saying, listen, we going for a three-peat. Should you make it there, you know what happened week 5. So no matter how you spin it, no matter how you cut it, both teams is here to make a statement in this week 5 matchup. And if you think they're not going to treat this game like a playoff game, you're kindly mistaken both of these. Both of these guys are competitors. They're gonna give it they all. Ain't nobody coming in half stepping. Um, I gotta go with the back to back champ in this one, because it's in Raiders. Like, I have all the reason to pick the Raiders. But if to be honest with you, if it was in Tampa, I think I would go Tampa. You know what I'm saying? I think this game being in Vegas, it's gonna you know it's gonna show and prove. But I'm taking the Raiders in this one. But I got this one. This should be a close one. I mean, look, anything is possible, but it should be a close one. But I'll take the Raiders, man, in this must see matchup. I'll go Raiders. 42. Bucks 38. 42-38. Raiders over the Bucks. Then you got myself against the Chargers. Listen, this is one of them games that, we got to come and take care of our business. Chargers, right now, not playing with a ton of confidence. We got to come in this game. We on the road, but we got to come into this game. Well, the Chargers still got to play week 4 matchup, So coming to this game, they could have their first win of the season. Not sure, but nevertheless, man, we got to come and take care of business. Regardless of what that record is for the Chargers, he's still a great user. So we got to come and we got to play solid defense, and we got to come pull his win out. I'll say Chargers still favored by 3 at home over the Texans. Ravens and Jets. Ravens coming off a big win over the Steelers, sweeping them. Jets coming off a devastating loss to the Seahawks. This is a good chance for some good get back. Just a little recap. The last time these two teams played, to my recollection, Jets won the game on a Hail Mary. Um, I'm pretty sure the Ravens remember that. I'm pretty sure the Ravens are going to come in and try to get this game over with in the first half. So there'll be no possibilities for any Hail Marys. But I'm curious to see how this one's going to go. But I got to take the Ravens in this one. He's undefeated. He's on one right now too. Give me the Ravens over the Jets. Uh, 53. Ravens won on that? Nah. Oh yeah, you're right. The Ravens won on the Hail Mary. My bad. I thought the Jets won on the Hail Mary. The Ravens won on the Hail Mary. You're right. Um, I was picking the Ravens anyway, but if you the Jets, that actually gives you some confidence to come into this game, right? Because if you lost the game on the Hail Mary, you saying, yo, look, we was right there. We gave up a crazy play at the end that cost us, but if it came down to a Hail Mary, let's keep this one close again. But that was what, 2 seasons ago? So that's a long time ago, but I got to go with the Ravens. Ravens undefeated, but I'm going to give the Jets a shot. I got what I said, Ravens 51, something like that. Yeah, I'll go Ravens 51, Jets 41. 51-41 Ravens over the Jets. Up next, you got the finish off the week. You got the Cowboys and the Lions. Lions coming off a bad loss last week. Cowboys coming off a great win last week. Um, I don't know what's been going on with Corlow's this entire Madden either, but he has not been looking like himself at all. And I'm not, and as much as I love picking upsets, I don't see it happening this week. That Detroit team is not who I thought they would be. And right now, this Cowboys team is looking like they're on a mission. I'm taking Cowboys over the Lions. I'm going to say 47 to 34. 47-34. Um, Cowboys over the Lions. So we went through the standings. We went all the way back to week 1, and now here we are right now. Most of the games have been played, but I'm pretty sure we still got some games that's going to go down tomorrow, opposed to tonight. But advances tomorrow, and then week 5 will be here, and we just knocked out the predictions for that. Um, yeah, let's keep these games going. Let's keep them moving. Y'all doing a solid job of knocking these games out fast. But let's see what's going on in the middle half of the season. I got to get the top 10 out too. I'm gonna put a top. Well, I'm gonna do a top 12. I'm gonna do a top 12 power rankings. I'm gonna get that in here. But yeah, I'll see you on the next fifth. I'm out.